Good morning, dear students, and welcome to a class of English poetry. The poem that we shall be learning today is The Road Not Taken by a famous American poet named Robert Frost. Before we commence with the poem, let's take a look at a few food items loved by most teenagers. So here we go. We have stir-fried noodles, a lip-smacking pizza, and a yummy juicy burger. Children, if I ask you to choose any one of the food items, will you be easily able to set up your top priority? Yes. In the same way, if I ask you to choose one place that you would like to go on a picnic, what will you do? You will be excited and you will name the choice of your place of the picnic spot, isn't it? These choices are easy to make as you can keep trying out the flavor of the food and visit various places of interest and enjoyment. Now, let's divert to another important aspect of your life. After your SSC result, you will have to take a decision regarding the choice of a stream to study to achieve your dream. So, you may choose between arts, science, and commerce. You will select the various career options available. Though there are so many options available, yet every single person chooses a single path. That is, this way or that way. That can lead to your final destination. Now let's gather some facts about the author or the poet of this poem. Robert Frost was a famous American poet. He is highly regarded for his depiction of rural life. Frost was honored for 4 times with the Pulitzer Prizes for poetry. Pulitzer Prize is an award for achievement in newspaper or magazines in the USA. Robert Frost's famous works are Fire and Ice, A Boy's Will, and Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening. Now let's learn about the poem. I shall now throw light on the title of the poem. The title, The Road Not Taken, is relevant to the journey of life. The poem reflects on how the poet made all the difference by choosing a road which was less traveled. One can turn left or right, as life is a series of choices. Eventually, your choice will become your life. The poet wants to convey to us that whatever option we take today will determine our tomorrow. The word road means our career, and we cannot go back on our choices. Therefore, we must be wise and choose the right path, as our future and our success depends on it. I shall now recite the poem. Please pay careful attention as I recite. The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveller, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. Students, I shall now begin the explanation stanza by stanza. Let's take the first stanza. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveller long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Now for the explanation, children. Please listen carefully. The poet describes his position. He is standing in a fork in a forest. A fork means a junction where two roads meet. The trees have yellow leaves as it is autumn season, and the leaves have fallen on to the ground. And these two roads diverge in the woods. That means the roads separate and go in different directions. Now the poet Robert Frost stood there for a long time, trying to make his decision that which road he should take. And at that time, he noticed that one of the roads bent in the trees and finally disappeared. We shall now proceed to the second stanza. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. Now here, the poet Robert Frost tells us that after seeing that one of the roads disappeared in the undergrowth, and now undergrowth means a dense growth of shrubs, the poet then decided to take the other road, and that suggests that he was an independent person. Now, why did he take the other road? He took that road because that road was grassier, and it appealed to the poet more because he felt that this road was less travelled by. But as the poet walked further down that road, he realized that that road was also equally travelled. Now we move on to the third stanza. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet, knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Let's move on to the explanation of this stanza. That morning, both the paths were covered with leaves, with no heavy steps crushing them, as no one had trodden that road. Now, trodden means walked. The poet Robert Frost remains committed to his decision to take the road that he had previously selected, saying that he will save the other road for another day. Now you can see in this picture there are two roads, you can clearly see them. And therefore, the poet then says that since one way leads to another, he feels that he will never again pass this way again. Now, here, my dear students, the poet sounds pessimistic. Pessimistic means negative in his attitude. When he says he has doubts if he would ever come back or get an opportunity to take the other road. Let's now move to the last stanza. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. Now, for the explanation, the poet transports himself to the future and he is sighing. Sighing means to take a deep breath. The poet Robert Frost will be telling others the story of the two roads. The poet sums up his story and tells that he took the road less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. Lastly, the poet is telling us that a choice is important. It was the choice that determined his destiny and made him different from the others. His future was determined by his choice. And this is how choice made all the difference. Now, let's go to the summary of this poem. The summary is like this. The Road Not Taken is an autobiographical poem. The poet talks about the choices that one has to take in life and their consequences. Once the poet came across a junction when his path diverged into two and he had to take a decision of which road to take. He stood there for a long time and gave a serious thought to each road. Then he decided to take the road which was less travelled. The reason for this was that road was grassy and the condition was better, but later on the poet realized that both the roads were equally worn. The poet decided to keep the other road for some other time, though he knew that he might not be able to go back to that road. That morning, both the roads lay equally covered with leaves. No traveller had trodden on them that day. The poet felt that after ages he would be telling with a sigh that both the roads diverged in a forest, and his decision of taking the less travelled road made all the difference in his life. Now we shall learn the message given in this poem. Robert Frost's poem, The Road Not Taken, brings forth the universal truth that life is a continuous journey full of divergences. The important thing is to move on without looking back. We cannot get everything in life and we have to make choices. Whatever direction our life takes is determined by the choice made by us. In the journey of life, one can seldom come back to travel the roads not taken earlier. Now let's go through the literary devices of this poem. We begin with the rhyme scheme of the stanzas. The first stanza is displayed on the slide. So the words appearing in red, that is would, stood and could, rhyme with each other. So we label these words as A. Then look ahead, the words appearing in blue at the end of the lines, that is both and undergrowth. These words rhyme with each other, thus we label them as B. Therefore, the rhyme scheme of the first stanza is AB, AAB. The rhyme scheme continues throughout the poem in the same manner. Finally, we shall point out the figures of speech that appear in the poem. So let's take the first one. Two roads diverged in a wood. This figure of speech is a metaphor. The road symbolizes the choices the poet made. Now we go to the second one. And be one traveller long I stood. This figure of speech is an inversion because the words are not arranged in correct prose order. The correct prose order is and be one traveller I stood long. Now we come to the third figure of speech. And both that morning equally lay. This figure of speech is also an inversion. The correct prose order of this sentence is and both lay equally that morning. Now we take the fourth figure of speech. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Now this figure of speech is an exclamation as a strong feeling is expressed. Now we look at the fifth figure of speech. Yet knowing how way leads on to way. Now this is a repetition as the word way is repeated to create a poetic effect. Now let's look at the sixth one. Though as for that the passing there. Now this is an alliteration because there is a repetition of the sound of the letter T. Then we come to the seventh figure of speech, somewhere ages and ages hence. Now this figure of speech is a repetition as the word ages has been repeated twice for poetic effect. Now we come to the eighth sentence. It was grassy and wanted wear. Now this is a personification because the road is given the human quality of wear and tear. Now take the last figure of speech. I'm sorry I could not travel both and be one traveller long I stood and looked down one as far as I could. Now this figure of speech is an anaphora. Now anaphora means the word and is repeated at the beginning of the sentences in order to create an emphatic effect. Now with this, we come to the end of this poem. I shall conclude with a popular motivational quote of Martin Luther King Jr., who was an activist and the youngest Nobel Prize winner of the United States of America. The quote reads like this. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. So, this quote is all about choices. So, dear children, as you move on in life, make the right choice, be positive, and keep going ahead no matter how hard and tough life may be. And this will make all the difference. Thank you, children, for your participation, and God bless you all. Kindly refer to the PDF file for the critical appreciation and the exercise, and please write it down in your notebook.